Don Drysdale needs this fifth consecutive shutout to tie the National League record. It figures it would be a Dodger-Giant game. Now, the Giants and Dodger rivalry was great in Brooklyn and New York. It was great on the West Coast as well. The ninth inning, the Giants load the bases. Don Drysdale is trying to get out of this bases-loaded, none-out mess with a ballpark filled and the place going crazy. Don gets to a 2-1 count on Dick Dietz, and he starts to throw him a slider, meaning the ball is going to slide across the strike zone. Dick Dietz had an open stance. He thought Drysdale's pitch was going to hit him, so he started to give. He realized it was a slider, and he stuck his elbow right out in the pitch, hit him right in the back of the elbow. With that, as I saw him do that, I quick turned to the umpire, Harry Wendelstedt, one of the finest umpires I've ever been around. Before I could say anything, like no, 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 he didn't make an attempt to get out of the way of the pitch, Harry Wendelstedt saying, no, 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 he did not make an attempt, he stays here. Well, you can imagine the turmoil. After this, the Giants dugout comes pouring out, the manager, the coaches, we find out that the ruling is this. If a hitter does not make an attempt to get out of the way of the pitch will be recorded as to where it was in the, if it was in the strike zone, it'll be a strike. If it's not, it'll be a ball. So Harry Wendelstedt called it a ball. Now this makes it count 3-1 on Dick Dietz. Still, we're in deep trouble. I go out to Don Drysdale. I said, now Don, don't worry about it. You can throw what we used to call his super sinker, which was really a little bit of a grease ball, a little bit of a spitter. It was a little saliva and grease were applied to no seams on the ball, and the bottom would fall out of it. Well, as I'm walking back to home plate, I'm thinking to myself, oh boy, that might have been the dumbest thing you ever did. What happens if he throws one and it gets by you and the record goes by the wayside? Well, don't let it get by, I guess is the answer. So I get back and I call it.
He called the wrong pitch. He called for my backup slider, and I promptly threw my backup slider, and we almost got in trouble, didn't we? Yeah, we almost got in trouble.
When the ball is delivered, I have no idea where it's going. I just know it's probably going to go down. And the ball heads down in the strike zone, and I don't touch it with the glove at all. The ball bounces into my bare hand, and I pick it up and I look at it almost like it's a hand grenade. And I had to get it back to Drysdale in a hurry because my heart was pounding so loud I could hardly hear in my ears. Well, sure enough, he gets Dick Dietz to hit a fly ball to left field. Our left fielder, Jim Ferry, comes in, catches the ball, so we got one out. Well, I call another super sinker, and the same thing happens. Ball in the dirt, bounces up, I catch it barehanded, no glove. Thinking, holy mackerel, I better not call another one of those. I throw the ball back to Don. But he shakes to it, meaning I gave all the pitches, and he's no, 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 I want that one. And that was the super sinker. He threw another one, and Ty Klein hit a little chopper towards first base. With that, Don Drysdale now, he's 6'6", 230 pounds, with size 7.5 or 8 shoes. He got little feet. He comes off the mound, he dives to the ball, and he misses it. Well, Wes Parker, the Gold Glove first baseman of our team, picks the ball up, turns, and throws a bullet to home plate to me. But just as the ball is passing over Drysdale's head, he lifts his head up off the ground, and the ball misses him by about that much. Bingo. Force at home plate, 2 outs. Call one more super sinker. He hits a pop-up.
He's 60 feet from the record. Parker's got it!
Well, we go home when the game is over. We watch television, and Bobby Kennedy has a press conference because he has just won the California primary for the presidency of the United States. This is 1968. Now, the night before this particular game, he had been in the clubhouse with us at Dodger Stadium, and we all got to talk with him, and it was really a nice experience. In his acceptance speech, he mentions Drysdale's game.
Express my high regard to Don Drysdale.
And the rest is history. He left the podium after his press conference. He was shot leaving through the kitchen. And a day and a half to 2 days later, he passed away. When Don Drysdale took the mound the next time, we all had mourning bands on our uniform, and Vin Scully, the great Dodger announcer, said, "The winds of emotion are swirling around Dodger Stadium this evening." Well, Don pitched another shutout, 6th straight shutout against the Pittsburgh Pirates to set that record. Don Drysdale is one of the finest teammates a player could ever have. Accomplished something that nobody else at that time had ever done. 58 2/3 consecutive scoreless innings. That was one of the most exciting times of my life, because when Don Drysdale's streak was building, that took 3 weeks. A perfect game takes 9 innings, but only about 5 till you realize you're in a no-hitter. Drysdale's was building, and everybody on that team wanted to do so much for him because he did so much for them. This was the culmination of a wonderful career.